Hey, everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. It's officially con season, if you didn't know, and we're going to be talking about that and so much more on the other side. Watch some videos and we'll talk. Let me just get that ready.
This week's Inside Story. Alan Alda, not such a nice guy, says an unnamed close friend.
The man is a pig, a vicious pig. He has no scruples and he'll s*** his friends in a minute. And I should know. I'm a close personal friend of his. One of the few he has left. You know, I tried to tell him nobody likes a sarcastic wimp. But he insisted on driving off his friends with his brutal behavior. If he doesn't change his ways, I'll tell you, he's going to end up a lonely, bitter man. Well, I got to get going. He invited me to a party at his house.
Aaron Sparrow here. You may know me as the writer of Darkwing Duck or Death Rage or the upcoming Kneel Before Doomface. And I just want to go ahead and tell you right now that Fantastic Comics is the greatest comic shop to ever exist in the history of this universe or any other universe.
Usual vault rules apply. Touch not, lest ye be touched. You're such an anal retentive bastard. Hey, I tried to teach you how to handle comics in the 6th grade, but oh no, you wanted to play Little League instead.
Lip balm?
One more question. Hey, come on, cheers, one more.
Right. Who'd win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy.
God. Wrong, dickhead. Trick question. Lemmy is God.
President Trump says he's convinced Coca-Cola to change its recipe. The president claims that the company has agreed to start using real cane sugar in Coke products.
This is so insulting. Trump's treating Americans like a kid you can bribe with a treat. Allow me to demonstrate what Donald Trump is going for here. I don't care about pedophilia anymore. Delicious.
Mom! Jenny ate my corn on the cob!
No, I didn't. He's lying. Now, kids. Jenny, why don't you get us dessert? I love you, little brother.
I love you, sis.
Beautiful kids.
Now, Desmond, you do smoke ganja at home, don't you?
Oh, yeah, man. We smoke that shit all the time.
I'm a little worried about your son, Bob.
We're sorry. I'm sorry, too.
there's no need to apologize, but let me ask you, what's the situation like at home?
It's fun. We get to run around and paint.
Oh, that seems healthy.
Yeah, I'm strong, like a Hulk.
Do you see me more as the respected dramatic actor or more of the beloved comic actor?
Whoa. There's still plenty of meat on that bone. Now, you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
This could be the last chance I got to do something great in my life.
You jerks are just all mad because I'm going to be the one to shatter Boss Hogg's drinking record.
Boss Hogg was a big fat redneck from the Dukes of Hazzard. Wade Boggs is a Hall of Fame third baseman.
Yeah, it's Wade Boggs' drinking record, okay? The man's a legend. He drank 50 beers on a cross-country flight and then absolutely destroyed the Seattle Mariners the next day, okay? That's why we're doing this, to honor his memory, okay? May rest in peace.
First off, Wade Boggs is very much alive. Secondly, the number of beers is actually highly disputed. Some say 50, some teammates said 60, some said as many as 70 beers. Which, to be honest, is an absolutely insane amount of beer. Nobody can drink that much.
So, is it true you once drank 64 beers on a team flight to the West Coast?
Well, that's something I'm not proud of now. Besides, that number gets distorted each and every year.
So,
73.
Alan Pearl. Interesting. How do these people, where do they come from? You know, sure, I'd seen him around. It would never have occurred to me to walk up to the dentist and say, you know, are you interested in this? But I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes. And Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it just was an accident. You know, we started talking about pantyhose. She was saying, whatever, that's not the point of the story, but what the point was that through this accidental meeting, it's like, you know, it's like a Hitchcock movie where, you know, you're thrown into a rubber bag and put in the trunk of a car. You find people. You find them. Something. Is it karma? Maybe. But we found him. That's the important thing. And I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
Kill or be killed, what is it going to take for people like you and Dingle to get along with the East Coast?
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, these guys got their fucking talking dolls and shit.
Questions, Professor Pickles?
What? I ain't no Professor Pickles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with the East Coast. Look, I don't need you defending me, you howdy-doody looking motherfucker. I'm out of here, yo. Yeah, I'm with him. Man, step off.
You have been most worthy prey, Mr. Sampson. But now I must adieu.
Wait, dude! What about Batman? You call yourself a Batman fan? He would never kill anybody. Seriously, ask yourself, what would Batman do?
I have a confession, Hank. I only like the Batman because he has the best villains.
All right, come out of our blast out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with high jump. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. It's a week to talk about comic books now, isn't it? I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I didn't realize it was 2 minutes after 8. I was going to go out to the car and get something else. It's okay. Everything's been taken care of. So we're going to have a good show. I thought I was coming down with... No, I didn't really think I was coming down with something. I just couldn't breathe. There was a lot of... kind of still going on. But things are better now. Hold on a moment. Baking it causes it to happen. I think what I needed to do was take an allergy pill, and I finally did that. So probably towards the end of the show, I'll be feeling better. Thanks for joining us, everybody. To all of you that are live right now.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
You thought I was going to do something else. No, thank you everybody for joining us. We're really happy. We got a poll going on right now. Which movie do you think is going to actually do better financially? Superman, Fantastic Four, or a movie I'm very excited about, Toxic Avenger. Have you seen the advertisements for that? It's on YouTube. Go later. For those of you that are new here.
My name is
Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right, and that's how you spell my name right over here. God damn it. Why can't I do it? There you go. Right there. Yeah, I own a comic book store. I have since 2011. We opened up in the heart of Berkeley, and we're still there, just in a different location. You can see it rolling down the bottom of the screen. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. That's what the show's all about. Me trying to tell you about some comic books, maybe some comic book related information, and just the general feeling as far as the comic book community and all of the stuff that you have to deal with. Oh yeah, I have a couple picks I want to take that I took. I want to share with you. That's comic book store related, so it could be kind of boring sometimes. We'll see if I remember to bring them up. But I did have a real big situation happen. It actually happened last Sunday. So a week ago, not this Sunday, but last Sunday, a person came in wanting to sell me a comic book. And I said, okay, I'll buy a comic book from you. And I had to write a check. But what happened first was I was like, how would you feel if I offered you this much amount of money? And then they said, more than that. And I said, okay, well, that's more than I'm really willing to pay. But what I would recommend you do is go to another comic store and see if they're willing to pay the money that you want to sell this comic book. So they went over there. And also, before they left, I said, but if they only offer you the amount that I said, you might want to bring it back here. And they did. It was awesome. So I wrote them out a check. I got the comic book. Everything was fine. And a little bit later, I got a phone call from the person that sold me the book saying she just got into a car accident, totaled her car. It's being towed away, and she left the check in the car. I'm like, oh, great. So she didn't ask me for a new one. She asked me to cancel this one, and maybe she could come in Monday and get a new check from me. And of course, you all know, because we just talked about it, I'm only open Wednesday through Sunday. So I told her, well, I can cancel that check, and I did online. I had 2 extra days before she came back and saw me. She did total her car, and she just wanted that same amount of money that I paid, or that I wrote a check out for, since I knew that check wasn't being cashed. It got canceled. Everything was fine. I think everything's pretty much on the up and up. And now I'm going to show you the comic book that I purchased. Here's what came in. Bam. Look at that. Funny enough, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trade paperback that collects the first 12 issues that I got from Penguin Random House might be in worse condition than this book. But as far as the front cover, as far as the staples are concerned, beautiful book. It's got a split down on the bottom left, and the back isn't good at all. It's got a hole in it and everything. Even still in a condition of a 3.0, which I assume this is a $5,500 book. $5,500. Can you believe it? First Iron Man. I didn't know it was ever that important. Funny enough, the last time we did a Crack the Slab, it was a Tales of Suspense #1, if I'm not mistaken. That was a whole lot less money than this one is right here. So I'm happy to be in possession of a Tales of Suspense. And if anybody has $5,500 burning a hole in their pocket, you might want to get a hold of Fantastic Comics. All the information's down the bottom of the screen. We sell comic books here. All right. But that was wild. I did not know what to do. I'm like, geez, of course, the check is, I got to do something with it and everything. Just not a fun situation to be in. So we're also going to talk about the Superman movie I went and saw this Thursday with a bunch of the crew from the comic store. The not staff, but customer crew. And we're going to talk about San Diego just a little bit, and maybe it's always maybe with me in this show, but we might be having some live look-ins later on in the week. So we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But first, we want to talk about some comic books that came out last week. And let me just get this up. Boom. All right, I'm going to turn this off for some symmetry. And we're going to bring up the best of last week. I only did 5. There was a bunch of books that came out. But man, these books sold so quick and so fast and so steadily that I thought I should probably tell you about them. And so coming in at number 5, we have an Image title. This Ends Tonight, chapter 1 of 3. As you can see, Jerry Dugan is the writer. And he's doing some stuff that I'm enjoying right now. But really, the reason why you're picking this book up is because Jay Lee isn't just doing the cover. He's also doing interiors. And anytime Jay Lee does interiors, people should pay attention. And sure as shit, my customers did. And they made this the top 5 book of the week. Well, the 5th book of the week. Coming in at number 4, and I'm not quite sure if this has to do with the cover or if it has to do with the movie, but Crypto number 2 was all but a sellout. It actually sold the first issue as the second issue came out. And look at that Jay Lee cover. Isn't he wonderful? So that is our 4th best-selling book. Well, not best-selling, but book of the week. Coming in at number 3, we have number 1, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. All of the Godzilla books versus the Marvel Universe characters have been doing well. So there's really no reason to think that this wouldn't have done well. But it did, with all the multiple covers, all the foily stuff, all the incentives. Well, not all the incentives, but Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe doing very well for me. Number 2, we have another miniseries, The Death of the Silver Surfer, number 2. Greg Pak and, I can't remember what the guy's first name is. Kumar is the last name. Really nice art. Really fun story in the first issue. And although I haven't read this one, it's been selling very well. And I even have people that are looking for the second prints of number 1. And those will be coming in real soon. All right. What's the first or the number 1 spot? Why, I couldn't deny it. People are coming in and they're talking about it, and they're really excited for not only this book, but the whole line of books that go along with it. Hold on a second. Absolute Batman number 10. I do believe it was Dragotta back on artwork. This is the Bane storyline. And in the future, there's going to be an annual of Absolute Batman that Daniel Warren Johnson is going to be doing some of the work on. So that's just another reason to be picking this book up. It's doing really hot. People are enjoying it. It might be the best book that I have going on right now in the store, and I just couldn't deny it this time. And that is your best of last week. I know I'm going through this pretty quick. All right, now it's time. To everybody that's live, really, seriously, right now, to all of you.
Hello. 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 Oh. Go. Look out. Hello.
Fantinium was here early. Yo, 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 I arrived in San Diego at 6:30 p.m. and just got checked in, getting settled. I've never arrived at a Comic-Con this early. Strange seeing them setting up everything. And also, I'm going to go into downtown and get some dinner soon. I heard the fish tacos here are fire. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Fantinium, I need you to go and get me a baseball hat somewhere. And I'll let you know later. Oh god, it's the boxer that owns a Mexican hole in the wall. I don't know. But he also has this hat that's really super sweet, and I gotta get my hands on it, and you can't get it online, so I might be putting you to work. Also, Fantinium is going to be our correspondent for San Diego. And if I can get off my duff and he can get his internet connection proper, we're going to try and do some really quick little streams to see how the show went for him and what he did and just what the con experience is like. So we'll talk a little bit more about that also. Joby Pill's in the other room saying hello. Jagron 2's here. Big weekend for comics industry coming. Well, it really is. We've got all the movies that are going on right now. Superman 2 weeks ago started up. We've got Fantastic Four coming out. If you include the Toxic Avenger, that's going to be coming out next month. We've got San Diego. In fact, I was looking at the Comic-Con schedule. Let me see if I can find it. The upcoming Worldwide Comic Fanscons.com schedule. And we got San Diego. And then also this month, there's GalaxyCon and Raleigh. And also Amazing Art Expo Billings. Oh my goodness, so many. MetroCon. There's anime conventions, on and on and on. You should take a look at this. The show I'd probably stay away from is the Big Lick one. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm not into that. Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Here you go. Drag around with the SDCC plus the FF movie opening. This is a big week. Big week for comics. They're announcing all sorts of comic books that are going to be coming out. Obviously, we're going to see some stuff coming out from the show. Hall H over there in San Diego is going to have George Lucas. And even though Marvel and DC aren't really doing anything over there, there's plenty of other stuff. And there's going to be a lot of things going on at that show. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of articles written on Bleeding Cool. God damn. How's your father? Says, evening, Yule. Evening to you. Not Near Mint is here and says, sup. And holy fuck. Fantinium, that book be looking fresh. That's right. It does look fresh. Dwayne Muth, good evening, Yule. In the chat, good evening to you. Elithid Laura, Thank you for understanding how I wasn't in the spirit to do a show last week. I was watching the All-Star game, and I just kind of was lagging, and all the comics came a little late, and I just had to really hurry to get all of that stuff ready for the store. And then when I go in Wednesday, there's more work to do, so I just wasn't ready. Let's see. Jagron 2 says, I hope one of your hands will manage to get me that Marvel Legends pack. I'm texting them that right afterwards. They know they're getting something for me, hopefully. And I hope they will be able to. Also, we'll know in one of the streams whether or not it actually happens. Also, the full panels for KO event and Marvel with Ultimate Endgame event. Yeah, there you go. Full panels for the DC knockouts or whatever the hell it's called. It's going to be a big old battle royal between the DC universe. I think it sounds kind of hokey personally, but it always depends on the creators and how the first one is executed. Anything that has lick in it probably should avoid. Well, Now I'm just saying if we're going for comic books, All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Take part in the poll. Let me just take a look at that right now. I screwed up and took down the YouTube page. Not the page, but the tab. Go to my channel. And we're going to see how this is going right now. All right. We've got Fantastic Four slightly ahead of Superman. And nobody's suggesting the Toxic Avenger is going to do well financially. But you might want to consider that it might not have as much money put into it. So whatever it does make later on, it might actually be the winner in the end. You know how horror movies go, if you can call it a horror movie. Comedies? I mean, that's a star-studded cast, and I don't want to blow it for anybody, but I think it's going to be a big deal. Maybe I'm wrong. It's movies. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me once again. Hit the subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like if you haven't. And let's talk about the Superman movie. Let me see. I have something.
Superman, thank God. I mean, get him! Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
Not that Superman movie. Maybe I should have asked, what is the best Superman movie, since there's been so many of them? I saw it. Fantinuum, Spider Guy, and a couple other people. I mean, I do know. Walk was there. We all went to the show, and we had a real nice time. We all congregated at the comic book store. We met Fantinuum over in Emery Bay. Is that what it is? Emery Bay? Bay Fair? No, Bay Fair is where I live. Yeah, Emery Bay. And we ate at the food court. We went in. Before that, we went to the Guitar Center. That's always fun. And then I went and bought a shit ton of candy. And then we went into the theater and we saw Superman. And I know Fantinuum, this was actually his third time seeing it. He didn't tell me how he felt about it. He didn't even say anything about it because he saw the early Tuesday showing. Then he went with a friend, and then he went with all of us. It was a good time. I really enjoyed hanging out. We all laughed. We all, had a good time. But the movie, how did I feel about it? Well, I'm not going to spoil anything seriously, but my buddy Rick Worley did a really nice little video on it, kind of talking about how people are angry with it. You know how there's actually Snyder bros out there that are so upset with Snyder not doing DC movies anymore that they're going out and they're talking smack and leaving reviews and all sorts of stuff on social medias that I'm not paying attention to, just because they're upset that James Gunn's Superman is existing when it could have been somebody else's. That his vision wasn't ever really fully realized, and that DC just kind of stopped, or Warner Brothers just stopped their DCU, and now they're relaunching it. And this Superman is the first movie of everything going forward. There were some other things like the Creature Commandos cartoon on HBO Max. James Gunn, even before he started doing anything, was talking about comic books that are inspiring what we're going to be seeing going forward. And let us know that Flash was an important movie still to watch, even though he had nothing to do with it. And I really don't think that was true. But, you know, they were putting out the movie and they didn't want people to not care. So, you know, he was doing his job, is what he was doing. And as far as this movie is concerned, I think he did a pretty darn good job. All the characters had pretty cool motivations. I mean, they had motivations, is what I should say. We didn't get a big old origin like we do in all these movies all the time. We know Superman's history, and if not, all the little bits and pieces that we're going to be seeing throughout the movie are going to clue us in. It's not going to be hard to figure it out. So that's the reason why I'm really glad we didn't see the origin like always, because it's going to get explained later on. The villain, although I thought for the most part the characters that they had in the movie that we know from the comic books were pretty much like they were supposed to be. It wasn't like Jimmy was going out shooting pictures, but so that's what cell phones are for, right? But he was there and he looked like Jimmy Olsen, so everybody should be pretty happy about that. I thought all the people did a pretty good job acting. I didn't really like the Metamorpho portrayal, and I understand why it was. You know, they needed to do the thing they did. I just didn't like it that much. I'm not really the biggest Metamorpho fan, so I'm not going to be crying about it. But if anything didn't really seem like it was supposed to be, it was that. And that was pretty much it. Mr. Terrific was cool. I even had a person come in and say, I want to get the Mr. Terrific miniseries because I really enjoyed him in the movie. And I'm like, that's great. Like told you, Crypto's doing really well in the store. So I'm already going into this movie thinking pretty good things before I even saw it. And I thought overall it was a pretty darn good movie. It was a movie. You know, anything I don't really want to go and see a long format story these days. It's just not for me anymore. I'm more about a 90-minute program rather than a 2-hour movie. And you add in the half an hour and the travel and all the other stuff. And, you know, you're spending 3 or 4 hours away from, I just wanted to go home after work. But again, it was a real fun time, mostly because of the camaraderie. And although there were some laughs in the movie, it wasn't like a Marvel movie where it's just like everybody's getting set up for the next punchline. And it really didn't matter if it was Spider-Man or Iron Man or Hulk or whoever that character is. It rung true. And it was just funny instances, not really anything to guffaw about. Although there was one moment in the movie where I was like, I did guffaw. I was really loud laughing at this, and I don't think it was really meant for comedy, but it was just so funny that I just had to say something about it out loud in a laugh form. And thought the acting was good, and everybody looked really good. Superman looks cool. The suit wasn't so great, but it wasn't dark at least. Crypto's cool. You know, there's probably going to be a lot of those dogs around. And I thought the ladies were all cool in it. Nothing wrong there. There was one character in there that was a little different than the comic books, the engineer. And the engineer comes from the Authority. And I've heard a lot of people getting upset about the Superman getting in the way of this one country invading these other people, you know, and stuff. And it really reeks of, instances in the world today. And I've heard a lot of, oh, you know, these Jewish creators that made this movie are they're slapped in the, they're rolling over in their graves right now with how they're dealing with Superman and stuff like that. And I really think any conflict, it wasn't like there was a music festival that anybody got, you know, kidnapped from. So it wasn't so in your face. And I really think it easily could have been Ukraine and Russia, Israel, Palestine, or whoever it is going to be tomorrow or the next day or the next year or us, you know? So it really wasn't a bad thing as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that kind of like a plot point. But it was important because it's kind of showing us as viewers, you know, the thing is about Superman is that he's so powerful and he can stop all wars all the time. And at the very beginning of the movie, he's done that. So that's a lot of the conversation about Superman. What's he doing this stuff for? He's screwing everything up. And I feel like what it's doing is not unlike Action Comics 775. It's answering what's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way. All right, the American way wasn't mentioned. But in a world where anything can happen because of the superpowered people, why don't they do it? In old Justice Society comics, and not like the old ones, but the ones Roy Thomas would write, they had to come up with a reason for Superman not just going over and kicking the Germans' asses. You know what I mean? Why isn't Wonder Woman going over there? Well, there's the whole Spear of Destiny bit, and it's like got a magical barrier preventing anybody of superpowered status coming over to deal with anything. That's why they're fighting the war here at home. And in the Authority, which is one of the books that James Gunn mentioned when he's like talking about Superman, talking about the future movies, it's kind of taking that premise of the Authority. We are superhero people and we can do anything we want. We can stop all wars. We can fix all famine. We can divert all rivers and all the other stuff that you would do if you had superpowers, right? But why wouldn't you do it? And this movie is kind of moving towards that. You know, why doesn't Superman just do everything all the time? Why does he temper himself? And I thought overall that was a pretty good examination of the character for people that have a problem with his almightiness. I think that kind of it gives you a reason to care about the character going forward. And there you go. Does that make sense? Does any of that make sense? I don't want to say too much. I've already mentioned a bunch of the characters that are in it. There's a whole bunch of characters. I didn't want to get spoiled for it, so I don't want to do it for you. You know, there was just like little things like, why did they call it Luthor Corps instead of Lex Corps? For 30 years now, it's been Lex Corps in the comic books. We want some synergy. James Gunn's telling us all the comic books that he's going to be ripping elements from and putting in the future DCU movies, and he just calls it Luthor Corps. Now, there was a customer of mine that said if you call it Lex Corps, it would suggest that it's his company. But if you call it Luthor Corps, it kind of sounds like he inherited it. That might be true. It really doesn't get played out in the movie that way, so we're really filling in some blanks there. But I'm sure that will give other people a reason to hate it. Overall, I like Lex Luthor. He was a very despicable person. He had some funny reasons for wanting to be the way he is, but overall, it felt very much like John Byrne's Man of Steel. It felt, it was Superman. He saved a squirrel. He saved a little girl from a building falling over. He didn't always just punch first. Got a little angry in the beginning of the movie. But, he's already been adventuring for a little bit. He's known to the world, and he's already got criminals or villains against him. So, that's what happens when you're thrown right in the story. I'm very happy to be thrown right in the story, though. And that was really my number one great thing about Superman is, again, no origin. And that is my Superman review. Let's go to the comments. There's a lot of comments right now. Bay Street, thank you very much, Fantinuum. Yeah, we went over to Fantinuum's place and parked in his garage. Woo, baby. It's right there by the theater. Now I know why he didn't want to come to us, but wanted us to come to him. All right, there's Joaquin. All right. So let's see. I got to go back just a little bit. Jagman has a very important question. Very important. So how are you going to order that Age of Revelation and all 16 titles? Well, I don't know anything about the 16 other titles right now, but the Age of Revelation, that's the X-Men book, right? That came out. It was a 0 issue, and what Penguin Random House / Marvel does is they send a store copy to us. It's free. It's a very nice little thing to give us. I have a lot of customers that were asking about it, and I know usually on the eBay market, those things go for like 25, 50, maybe more money. Last year or the year before, there was a Vengeance of Moon Knight 0 that came out. What you do is, as a store, is then you go to Penguin Random House and you look up Age of Revelation and you go, oh, it's available. Yes, they delivered it to us for this week, the one copy, but I was able to order the Age of Revelation, and all of your stores should also. I was on a Facebook retailers site, and people were saying something like, oh yeah, if Penguin Random House gets the book to us and blah, 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 blah. They'll have the book to us. It just depends on when you ordered it. It won't be a problem. They have it in stock. It's not hiding from anybody. It's just one of these things. It's just one of these things they do. So Age of Revelation, I think people are going to be pretty stoked to be reading some of this X-Men stuff coming up. Jeff Loeb's going to be working on a book, and all sorts of people. So yeah, X-Men. In my store, X-Men's still good. Don't believe the hype or the lack of hype. Were you mostly just going, bleep, Marvel, you bleepers doing this again? No, that's fine. I mean, the problem with it, Jagron, is that look, this is the problem. I want to serve customers. I want them to get what they want. I don't necessarily like everything that everybody gets, but that's not for me to say. I am there to make you happy selling comic books or comic book related stuff. And having people come in wanting it, and you got a copy, but what am I supposed to do? I've got lots of really great customers. I went with 4 of them to the freaking movie. You know what I mean? All of them will be fight. I mean, if we want to have like a fight out in the street, whoever wins can get that book. I won't even charge you. Original Reeve movie is still the best, though it has aged poorly in some ways. Aged poorly? I'm trying to think. Okay. I'll have to think about that. I mean, I think it's a pretty good movie still. I would say probably this one by Gunn is tied with Superman 2 Donner Cut. All right, very good. Let's see here. Jagron, I 100% agree. Then Man of Steel, I got you. Reeve will always be king. Snyder needs to stay away from DC. Snyder maybe just needs to stay away altogether. I don't think I've really seen any. I saw the Man of Steel movie where everything was all dark. That was Man of Steel, right? Where his father was like, don't help humans. They'll just be horrible to you and all this other stuff. And that was not Superman to me. Like, that just doesn't have that doesn't have the character of Superman at all. And this movie was a lot more like it, as far as I'm concerned. There was just a few things. Oh, Flash. Okay, here we go. Yeah, he didn't understand Superman. Everyone has said that they were entertained by it, but the main story is not that engaging. I would suggest that's true. Also, some of the side characters just ended up there. Yeah. So the side characters, funny enough, the Justice Gang were doing what I wanted to see happen at the end of Suicide Squad, also directed by James Gunn. Right when the Suicide Squad is like, yeah, we're going to go against Amanda Waller and we're going to go kick Starro's ass. I thought it would have been really funny as they're all marching up to go do that. The Justice League just comes in and wastes Starro. And then they're like, oh, I mean, it's kind of like played for humor, obviously, but I just didn't think Harley Quinn going and shooting up stuff was really the way to go. Mr. Terrific needs to be the Wong of DCU, appearing here and there because he is awesome. I wouldn't disagree. I think Mr. Terrific is really cool, and I really like how they did the T on his face. I thought the costume looked really good. I like how he was all sitting down, kind of like, doing his stuff. He got some physicality going on with his T-spheres. That's some good stuff. I'm in the school of both directors don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know, man. I think James Gunn has a comic book style approach to his stuff, and I think it's pretty good. Dwayne Moose says Snyder Bros need to sleep it off. For sure, they need to do that. Go see Rick Worley's video. Here, let me put my my Yule picks for YouTube videos and other things. If you see Rick Worley up there, Worley, he does a I don't even know. I think I have him up there. No, maybe not. You all know him. He's been on the show. Go see his video for Superman. It was really good. I liked it. Going back to comments. I like my Luthers to be calculating and not whiners. Well, he did whine at the end. I thought he was very calculating. He was, brain over brawn type situation, and he was utilizing his industry to be able to do what he was doing. Didn't want to do too much. The other one, okay, you guys are talking about that. Hot Girl was stealing Black Canary's act. Yeah, I guess so. That might be true. Hot Girl's scream was cringe to the max. Did she scream in the WB, in the CW Flash Green Arrow bit? I can't remember. Yeah, you guys talking about that. Excellent. After reading Absolute Superman, I think they should just make a movie about that Superman, since every director after Donner can't make a proper main universe Superman. Man, Fantinium, you're so hard on this. I don't think it was any. So Rick makes a really good assessment of IP movies, and he talks about how it's not really about art. It's not really about that one movie. It's about all the merchandising. It's about 10 years of movies that are going to be coming out, and this is the thing that's going to be setting up everything. If I take that into consideration, I think it's a really good movie because I didn't think about all that other stuff. You know what I mean? As far as like a plot, it's pretty simplistic. There was a lot of elements going on that kind of converged, but it really wasn't like a super plot heavy movie. Age of Revelation will be in October. It's like 16 books. Seems done to me. Yeah, done or dumb. Courtney Holland. How's it going, Courtney? Oh, I haven't done a wrestling minute in a while, but I think next week I'm going to have one. So tune in for that. Oh, wait, what? So I gotta kill a foo. I gotta kill a FU. What? I gotta kill a foo. Who? After watching Rebel Moon's duology director's cut, stay away from movies for 5 years, Snyder. Oh, I see. Very good. Snyder, I mean. Courtney says, right with the Henry Cavill, that quitter. Spider Guy, I saw Superman a second time and liked it more. Wow, you saw it a second time? All right. I don't think I would turn it off if it was on TV. Maybe I might get the DVD of it. I think I put it second to the Christopher Reeve Superman. The only thing about Christopher Reeve Superman is if we're talking about aging, it's just it's a different type of movie telling. And again, didn't necessarily have 10 movies that it was like trying to set up or a ton of merchandising in 7, I think it was 78. I mean, there still was, but it wasn't quite the same. I mean, it wasn't more than what was going on with the comic books. There were Superman capes and belts and shirts to wear, underoos and things like that. So, yeah. Jagron 2, I did not like the origin change, even though I get the context of the story of the movie and how it's supposed to work. I think, again, the origin is a little bit more in line with Superman Man of Steel by John Byrne, where he comes from a Kryptonian society that has engineered the planet's weather and has done it in such a way that they've kind of screwed things up. Sends his kid to Earth, not necessarily to be our savior, but maybe to lord himself over us. And kind of that's what was going on there. Just wanted to say, hey, and I love you and Joel. Thank you very much, Courtney. Thanks for coming by. I didn't like the Rision roulette scene, and Ma and Pa bit rest was solid. I didn't really like the Ma and Pa at all. And I thought they were kind of dorky, and to me, just not something I wanted to see. But, that's how it goes. Yeah, Henry Cavill got caught in bad timing. Yeah, he did. Also, he just kind of wasn't on the in with the new crew that was coming in. So maybe they could do an Earth 2 Superman, or maybe they'll do I guess that would be like Ultraman. Maybe in the future. I think Henry Cavill's great looking Superman, great looking guy, very physically imposing, going up against the new guy. That'd be kind of cool if they ever do something like that. We'll see. You previously said we had to battle for it. I got you. Yeah. Superman came out in 78. It just made me think too much of Injustice Superman with how they handled it. Yeah, for sure. Gunn, Ma, and Pa Kent were an embarrassment. You're never going to get better than Pa Kent in that first Reeve movie. That was just really good. Also kind of classic. Compare them to Donner, Ma and Kent, Ma and Pa Kent, or even the ones in Smallville. I don't think about the ones in Smallville. FF is going to beat it because it broader appeal in the family aspect. YouTube and IG's most popular accounts are the family ones. Is that true? I'm sure there's something rage baity that's more popular than the family ones, but it doesn't mean that a family is going to be going to see the movie. Is shit a bad word now? If I'm on the phone with somebody and I say shit, they're probably going to be very upset that I'm cursing at them. I probably said fucking right before it. But boy, Superman had a lot of shit, super shit, talking about social media and how people were hating on him and stuff like that. Is that for kids? I mean, I remember there was that one movie that had MODOK in it. I can't remember which one. Ant-Man? Who cares? And I know that they were doing a lot of cursing like that also. And I wonder, are these movies even necessarily for kids? And again, another thing that Rick talks about in the video that he did about the Superman movie is how there are some people that just don't graduate from comic books or young adult stuff or comedies or cartoons and things like that. And then there's a lot of the people I know. We like all sorts of different things, whether it be music or adult novels or nonfiction books or, Academy Award winning type movies, nominated type movies, things like that. I mean, I've kind of gone out of movies altogether, so going to see them really isn't that big a deal to me. But, I mean, art house movies are cool. I mean, not usually, but they can be. And I don't necessarily have any reason to stay away from them other than the fact I just don't want to go and see movies that much anymore. And if I can go out with a bunch of pals to go do it, it's more likely that I'm going to want to do it. So Fantastic Four is next, though. I think FF will do really good. The third Avatar movie trailer is going to debut with it. Is that even a thing that matters anymore? Galactus sounds awesome in FF. But I hear a lot of people already complaining. I mean, they have been for a long time now about the Silver Surfer getting the female treatment instead of Norrin Rad. Or is it just going to be like a woman being power cosmic Silver Surfer? Or is it going to be instead of Norrin Rad? Or is somebody going to get it from Norrin Rad? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. I just know a lot of people were getting kind of angry, grumpy about that, I should say. Here we go. Pedro is super popular. Spider Guy. Is that true? I hear he's not. People just can't stand him. I personally think he looks like a great Reed Richards, and the movie looks pretty fun. I like the style, the aesthetic. It just depends on the plot, the acting, and if they do too much of that ha-ha stuff. Like, that's the problem. The worst thing James Gunn has done with these superhero movies that he's done was he made a good one, or he made one that most people liked. And Disney was like, well, let's keep doing that. Rinse and repeat with everything. Make the funny ha-ha stuff in all the freaking movies all the time. This is a part where we need to punch this up with a new joke, that type of thing. But James Gunn did it well. He does it well. We'll see how that FF is going to be. All right, Jagron, go to bed. And I'll see you Saturday on Thinking Critical. Anybody that's going to be watching the Comics Aficionados 7 a.m. on the West Coast, you can see me because I agreed to do the show. And yeah, I'm just not used to Superman swearing. Well, again, maybe shit isn't a bad word anymore. Pedro is super manly from all the social media. Wait, they said shit in Spanish? I didn't even hear that. It would have been better if he said, I hate that word, and left it at that. Well, hate. I don't think Superman should be going around saying hate either. All right. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the death knell of Kang, the forgotten subtitle. Most of the idiots piss and moan on either side of the spectrum. Never even read comics. Dwayne, that's true. Or they read comics for a certain amount of time and then they don't anymore. See, the thing is that when you don't graduate to the other things, the only thing you're looking for is the adult version of the old stuff that you watched. And I think that's the reason why the Snyder bros really like the Batman stuff, the dark movies, because, this is dark. I couldn't see a brand new program that had dark, it had to be some guy in a cape. But yeah, most people piss and moan. I mean, oh, you didn't even know that Galactus had a female herald? And stuff like that is what someone's going to say. And then another person might say, yeah, but it's not Silver Surfer and, all this other stuff. And why couldn't it just be? And blah, 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 blah. Again, this is the reason why I don't go out and see movies. Because if I don't want the perverted form of that character, I'm not going to go and see the movie or the story or whatever it needs to be. I don't go and watch a biopic so that I can do a history lesson in school. You know what I mean? You want to read up on it. You want to do some research and just not watch some movie. You know, if you watched Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor and did a report on that for history class, I don't think that's a good idea. James Gunn is not on FF. I'm not even sure who the director is. James Gunn is solely working for DC right now, or Warner Brothers. Yay, more Yule in California. We need that expert retail view. Well, thank you very much. Well, I don't know about that. It's part of the chemistry for the era they're trying to sell. Wholesome couple saving the world and about to have a baby. The Christian right will be pleased. Well, we'll see. I mean, they're going up against a godlike character, so let's hope they don't say anything stupid. And lastly, How's Your Father says, how old is Sue Storm supposed to be? I keep hearing people saying the actress is too old. She did look kind of oldie. I mean, I will admit that. Not like lines or wrinkles or anything like that. But if you're comparing it to how Marvel movies / TV, hell, I could even say Disney is going, they seem to be really, like, they had Agatha Harkness in one of those Scarlet Witch series or something like that, and she's like a young woman, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure how old she is. I think she looked great. I think the whole cast looks really good. The Thing looks excellent. Herbie's neat. Got Human Torch, the Fantastic Cars, all of that stuff. The suits look neat. It looks a very stylish movie, and we'll see. All right, let's go back to that poll. I'm going to end it right now. Wait, can I end it right now? It's 50-50 right now. Somebody else needs to make a vote. And not for Toxic Avenger. So I'll leave that going for a little bit longer. All right. Let's do this. Here we go.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, is something big going on somewhere?
It's going on right here. It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
It's true. Calendar's full of them. And you can come into the shop Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. For all your funny book shopping needs. Let's get on with this really, really quick. Oh, yeah, I already did that one. So you already saw Tales of Suspense. Well, you know what? Let's do one more time. Boom. Pretty awesome. All right. Get rid of that. And do this. Oops, I turned the microphone off. We're going to start down at the bottom. Exquisite Corpse number 3 comes out. Corpses, I'm sorry. This is a miniseries by Tynion. I think it's a miniseries. And some other people. It's a battle royale of hired killers. Monstrous is still coming out. 58 issues in and going strong. They take their little image break, but then they get right back on that horse. Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Amazing, amazing stuff. Even though I don't read it, and I always wonder, man, maybe I should get into this one, but I just never tried yet. It's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's body horror, it's a bunch of different things, but overall, it's a pretty strong contender in my store every week for top selling book. Well, every month, every time it comes out. Jeff the Land Shark number 2. You can't keep good shark down. Keep good land shark down. And this miniseries is proving it, along with all the other one-shots that have been coming out. I sell out of it. I don't order super heavy. But as far as like a youthful, fun comic book, this is one of the best. Minor Arcana number 9. This is a Jeff Lemire written and drawn comic book that I have yet to read any of. It's got magic and stuff in it. I guess I should start working on it, but you know, I've got so much that I've been reading lately. I'll tell you about that in a little bit too. All right, next up we have Emma Frost, the White Queen. Ooh, what a cover. If only DNA did some interiors. But DeVito, is that Andrea DeVito, I think? Pretty good artwork. And yeah, I guess this is her, well, when she wanted to become a Hellfire Club member. And you got Sebastian Shaw and whoever that Black Queen is saying no. The Curse of Shirley Johnson. There's like 3 or 4 different Spawn books coming out next week. I only highlighted one, and this is the 2nd issue of this miniseries. Shirley Johnson is the little girl that gets killed by Billy Kincaid in the 5th issue of Spawn, all the way back in the early 90s. And what happened to her? Well, you'll find out in this series. And by all accounts, it's pretty good. Here's a book I'm really looking forward to, and it's mostly based on the title because I'm not the biggest Cy Spurrier fan. The Voice Said Kill. I don't really need to know too much more about that. I'm excited to check this book out. I think it's Vanessa Del Rey is the artist, and you got all these other people working on it. Nobody cares about colorists. Probably one of the most important comic books to ever come out in my lifetime. Facsimile edition of Uncanny X-Men number 137. It doesn't become uncanny for a few more issues. Phoenix Must Die. It was a decree from Jim Shooter, and John Byrne and Chris Claremont makes it happen. Just as you think it wasn't going to happen, it does. Have I spoiled this one for you? Fantastic issue, great artwork. You got a hirsute Wolverine contemplating his life and fighting for the woman he loves, even though it's Cyclops' lady. Cool stuff. And there's an appearance by the Watcher. There's a lot of Ghost Machine coming out this week also, but I'm going to highlight Geiger number 16, Jeff Johns, and whoops, this is a guest artist on this. No Gary Frank, but I'm sure it'll look good. Great cover. Void Rivals number 21 by the next writer of Transformers after Daniel Warren Johnson leaves the book and Dan Mora comes on art. Robert Kirkman, I really thought, was the only real choice that could take over this book from Daniel Warren Johnson. Anybody that had a name that people might actually flock to the comic store to get the book. I'm still not quite sure if Robert Kirkman is that person like we used to have back in the day. But people are coming in for Invincible. And I guess when they tap out of that, I can move them on to Void Rivals maybe if they're into Transformers stuff. Green Lantern number 25. This is a comic I haven't been reading in a while. For a while, I've dropped off a bit. Jeremy Adams does write a good story, and this is a brand new storyline on a 25th issue. And I say that the centennial issues are always the important ones to pick up. So if you're going to go into a comic store tomorrow or this week, you should probably check out Green Lantern number 25. Good writer, good artist. Love the character, just haven't read it in a while. Justice League Unlimited. This is a Mark Waid written comic book. I'm not quite sure if Dan Moore is doing the art on this one because I have that banner up. Let's see. Ooh, he is on it. This is the epilogue of the We Are Yesterday storyline that crossed over with Batman Superman World's Finest. That's also written by Mark Waid. So I don't know. I don't have much more to say then, other than this is probably going to replace something on the cigarette shelf soon if it keeps up selling like it does. Moon Knight number 250. I told you about those centennial issues. Even though this Fist of Khonshu is really the 10th issue, the legacy numbering is 250. And it's extra sized. I like Jed McKay. He writes some pretty cool books. I haven't been reading a lot of the Moon Knight right now. But by all accounts, from people I've heard online, like over at Thinking Critical and in the store, Moon Knight is a very, very good book. These next two books I've had a lot of people asking about up front. They're like, when is this coming out? When is this coming out? When is Storm number 10 coming out? Well, that's not something I thought I'd hear. But in this issue, which is, did I say number 10? I can't remember what I said. Yeah, it's number 10. Oh, yeah, Legacy number. It's so small. It's like 22. Legacy 22. This is a brand new storyline that is actually connecting all the way from the very first issue. And Thunder War begins. All right. Is that because Thor's no longer with us? And is that Silver Surfer's surfboard? Is Storm the new Silver Surfer? And new history of the DC Universe. Why, I was getting rave reviews. Todd Knock and Jerry Ordway, Chris Samney on the cover, Mark Waid writing this book, trying to put all the characters in the DC Universe in order. By the end of the first issue, there was a little boy that got rocketed to Earth in a spaceship. 100 or 200 years after, there was another person that rocketed to Earth in a spaceship. So we're going to have Superman coming up soon. And in this issue. All right. These are all cigarette books. Absolute Wonder Woman number 10. Very, very good seller. Cool cover too. Like that one a lot. Batman Hush returns. This is number 161. I've actually read the first 2.5 issues of the storyline. I have one, or maybe it's just 2 issues. I have 160 and 161 here at the store, or at the house, and I'm going to be reading those tonight. I've actually been enjoying this. Maybe because I wasn't thinking too much about it or caring too much about it. I wasn't really the biggest first Hush fan, but this storyline's been pretty cool. There is still a lot of monologue talking to me that I can't stand, but great art, fun story. Tommy Elliott. What can I say? Uncanny X-Men number 18. This has Gail Simone writing, and Luciano Vecchio is on art. He's been doing a lot of covers for Marvel lately, and this will be I don't know if he's done any interiors before, but this will be the first one for the X-Men. Amazing Spider-Man number 8 of the new series, Joe Kelly and John Romita Jr. There is even a little Todd Knock on this one also. I gotta tell you, it's a Paul part of the story. But it's pretty funny, and I don't know. I can ironically like Paul like some people. Either way, this was a fun story. It's a big fisticuffs issue, just like the last one. Who is this Hellcat and what's all going on? Can Spider-Man save the citizens of New York who are just waking up to go in the city from this guy? Because he doesn't seem to care about any of them. And look at Spider-Man. Really messed up on this cover. All right, next up. We have Absolute Martian Manhunter number 5. I think there's going to be a little hiatus in between 6 and 7 because this was supposed to be, I think, a 6-issue miniseries, and it got increased to 12. Dennis Camp is doing really cool stuff. What is it? Javier Pulido on art. Cool. And lastly, well, it's almost like I planned this. Superman number 28, the beginning of the Legion of Darkseid, part 1. If you're ignoring all the other DC books and only reading Absolute books, you might want to tune into this one, because these are Darkseid's Legion of superheroes meeting Superman for the first time, like the old Legion, but they're bad guys, or, well, Absolute guys at least. And Dan Moore is back on art. That's right. He's doing 2 books this week, or 2 books a month like normal. Joshua Williamson's the writer. I think he's been doing a great Superman since the very first issue. Plots that are going on from that time are still playing out, but it looks like we can ignore those for a few minutes because we're going to have something really big happening. And those are just some of your new comics for next week. My goodness gracious. I'm going to have to go right into the next feature in just a moment. All right. Spider Guy says, people don't care about her age if the couple sells the chemistry, i.e. the PDA for promo. According to Comic Hub, Jeff is a top 5 seller. Jeff Lemire? Or Jeff Loeb. You would be PH if it's Jeff Loeb. Pull me that one. I forgot. The voice said to kill. The voice said kill. And good to hear Martian got extended. Yeah, it got extended a while ago. And that, I mean, you know, it's just how it goes. If you're following Joe Casey on Substack, he's going to talk about inside baseball stuff about comic books and about Weapon X-Men and partially why the reason it only went 5 issues. It's a bummer when you have to, like, you know, hear stuff about the way it goes, but it's enlightening. It's very enlightening. Okay, let's get, so that's kind of like in that, you know, they got the good word. All the Absolute books have been doing excellent. So there you go. Okay, we got a big segment coming up.
Good.
All right, we're going to crack a slab. We're going to crack a 4.5 All-American Men at War. Right there. Look at that. And I'm going to try it the new way. So I'm not going to do it with this. And I'm not going to do it with the hammer. I'm just going to smack this, okay? Like that, okay? I'm going to move this down so you can see it like that. You like my shirt? Yeah. So I was told that right here is where it lines up. And you just want to smack it. We'll see if it works. You know, maybe on the other side. Well, I haven't practiced with it before, so I guess I'll do it the old way now. Besides, it's all about cracking this thing, right? Oh, man. No, it just wants to break apart. Maybe because of that. All right, let's try it again. Nah. That guy had a good method, but I just don't know the method. All right, let's do this. This thing just, Don't worry, I won't ruin the book. Jesus. This thing. I've been having bad luck with these lately. There was that gaming module, the D&D module. There we go. Jesus, look at that. Do it right here. This is exciting. Just disintegrating on me. My goodness. Look at that. This is where I put myself. You just know what's going to happen someday. Boom. Men of War. All right. That's pretty good. I got all these pieces all over the place now. Look at this. One right here. One right here. I think one might have actually went in my water. I better not drink that now. But, oh my goodness. I'm going to have to get a mop or something, or a wet towel, a towelette. All right. That was exciting. Thank you, Emil, for sending that. We'll get that back to you real soon. Yeah, there you go. Comments. PSA started taking submissions this week. This week, and early adopters got their first batch graded. I know. I saw a video. I commented on it. I said, "Thanks for ruining the industry." Thanks a lot. They got thousands and thousands of views. Yeah, people like that too, I guess. All right. One last thing we got to do, and then we're gonna start planning on heading. That's right. I actually haven't adjusted the list, but we have some people that dropped off. Maybe you didn't know that you're not a patron anymore. But I'll keep your name up this time because, again, I was a little behind. That's how it works. Thank you, everybody that is still a member, and thank you to everybody that was a member in the past. We don't give you a whole lot from our Patreon page, but we really appreciate it. And we are working on some stuff right now. We'll see how quickly that works. And yeah, thank you again, everybody. Because, you know, you want to, it's just like, you know, a very cool that you do it, and you want to be seen and know that I know and that everybody knows.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos!
650 you change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Si!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
Great episode. I love that one a lot. Don't be like George. Be a patron. Be a patron. All right. I don't know. So we're going to be doing some San Diego Comic-Con. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. If you haven't been getting notifications, unclick it and click it again. I hear that works. Thumbs up the video, and it'll be you'll be recommended to come on. So what I hope to do is at the end of the evening, Fantinuum and maybe Battle Buddy will be with Fantinuum or separate, will be a part of a live stream that we'll have, and we'll just ask them how the Comic-Con was for them that day. We might even find out if they got Jagron's thing that he needs. And that's going to be the big San Diego stuff that's going on here. What did they do? What did they see? Did they get any promos for the show? And, you know, that kind of stuff. For the store, for the show, all of that. That'd be great. Damn, this time just went by really fast, and I'm so happy that I can actually breathe. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. Damn. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I think I'm going to just cut you all loose. I'm going to play the video, and I'll see y'all next week. Definitely. Maybe, possibly, probably before next week. At least a couple days. And definitely on Thinking Critical this Saturday morning. So see you then.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somehow. strolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.